Hi, this is Aaron here. I'd like to speak to you about what you do when your kid doesn't listen to you. This is a very common thing, and very often we get really worked up. Your kid does all sorts of things. You want them to clean up their mess, they don't clean up their mess, or they even do certain things to you that you don't really like, and that can be, you can feel that's really rude and disgusting. So there are 3 steps over here. Number 1, acknowledge what they did is actually separate from who you are and what you're about. You see, your child is living in one reality and you're actually living in another reality via our thinking moment to moment. So, for example, when your child leaves his plate out on the table, doesn't clean it up, leaves his mess on the table, leaves her mess on the table, they're not thinking. They're in their own little Disneyland world, and then they just walk away. And very often we vent and kvetch and get upset, and how could you? You're inconsiderate. I've told you 100 times to put that plate in the sink and you just don't listen. And we really personalize it. But very often when kids are just leaving things lying around, they don't mean to leave it lying around. They just do it because, hey, that's what kids do. So acknowledge that what they did, again, step 1 is separate from what you're thinking. Because their thinking world, they might be thinking about their friends at school, they might be under pressure, maybe they're thinking about playing with their train set, depending what age they are. So then, after acknowledging that what they did is separate from you, we get on to step 2, is to acknowledge that what you're really thinking is actually creating your feelings, because thought and feelings are 2 sides of the same coin. And feeling is just a reflection of what you're thinking. So you have to acknowledge what you're thinking, which is really the reason behind your own hurt. And we could have 1,000 different interpretations of what our kid did. I could be really offended. I could be, oh, okay. You know how some days your kid leaves the plate on the table? How could they? They left a mess. They didn't clean up. And you're just absolutely outraged. And other days, okay, I just clean it up and put it away. So same situation, 2 totally different thoughts, and hence 2 totally different feelings. So that's the way thinking and feelings work. And step number 3, and this is the tricky part, is just to be aware of your thoughts and feelings without necessarily trying to change your thinking. Sometimes you can change your thinking, but this is not about, here are the bad thoughts and let's try and have the good thoughts, or here are the good thoughts and I don't want to have those bad thoughts. That can work sometimes, but when you're really wound up, it really doesn't work. But just being almost like a separate observer of your own thoughts and your own feelings and how you're reacting is good enough that your own natural set point of love, compassion, and understanding and calm will eventually turn you in that direction of realizing, hey, I'm playing out a scene over here in my head. Yes, it's true, my child did what he or she did, but I'm still 100% in charge of what I want to think about what they did. And that's where the power is. And you're taking back your power, and you're not at the mercy of circumstances. You're not a victim of your child's behavior. And when you do that, you get this calm that comes back to you, which has always been inside you, but it's been temporarily hidden through your extraneous, heavy quote-unquote thinking. And when that comes back to you, you might want to have a conversation with your child, or you might just want to clean it up, or you might just want to choose your battles. But when common sense comes in, whatever techniques you want to apply or whatever you want to do is going to be much more effective when you're quiet inside and you attack the problem from a space of common sense rather than rage and injustice. Hope that helps, and I'll speak to you next time. Bye for now.